Alright, before we get into the main thing I want to talk about, I want to just mention three things. Two of them are very pointless. One of them's kind of important to this channel. So, some of you might be asking, hey, I came here for your pointless opinions on movies and music. When's that going to come back? Well, I'm going to be going back home, at like my actual home, on February 12th, and I'll be just reviewing a bunch of movies. I'll be recording a lot, and I'll actually like edit some stuff together to give you like a list video, maybe two, and yeah, I'm gonna release it one by one, week by week, when I come back here, because I really don't have time to like write some memos and record new stuff here, except for these stupid, pointless, somewhat existential crisis-y vlogs. And the other two things are that, well, this is just more of a weird fact that I realized. I took a walk outside in Gangnam, and I was playing Marquee Moon, the album by Television, which is one of my favorite albums, not only of the 70s, but like of all time. And if you've never listened to the album Marquee Moon by Television, and if you're really into very guitar-oriented punk rock, that's totally for you. If you're into Joy Division or any post-punk, really, that's like... Marquee Moon is a great transition between the CBGB's type of punk and what Joy Division and all those bands were doing in the late 70s and the early 80s. And the third thing is that we're going to be changing seats in homeroom at the cram school, and it turns out I'll be sitting right behind the girl that I kind of find to be cute, and that is in many ways the worst thing that could happen to me ever, because now I'll be way too nervous to do anything naturally or in a human way. We'll see what happens. So the main thing that I want to get into is a very fun topic that most people just have a great time talking about with their family members, or with friends, or with just people in general, and that's racism. The fun, family-friendly, child-friendly topic that we all know and love, because, well, I'm not sure if you guys noticed. Some of you probably did, but, I'm Asian. I know, I was also really surprised when I realized it too. And like any race on YouTube or on the internet in general, I get racist comments. And if you've read my channel description, you would know that I actually slightly encourage racist comments as long as it's clever. That's the key thing there. I don't want people to just call me racist slurs and just go away. No, I want you to make a great racist joke. I implore you to make great racist jokes. Not the generic ones, not the ones that other comedians are making all the time. Not like, you know, don't just tell me that I have a small dick. You know, get really intricate with that shit. And usually with racist comments, there are two kinds of comments. The first kind usually come from people who aren't genuinely racist. Like, they don't hate you because of your race. They're mostly people who are trying to be edgy. Maybe they're in their late teens, maybe they're in their early 20s, or maybe they're all grown up and they don't know how the fuck to act like an actual adult, and they think they're going against political correctness, and they're furthering the conversation by promoting free speech, while, in fact, they're actually just being assholes on the internet. And they probably have no lives. But then again, I upload vlogs on YouTube, so so what do I know? But you know, I get the usual edgy comments here and there. Like, I get the Haro Preezes, which never really made sense to me, because I've never heard anybody say hello and please consecutively. That just doesn't make sense to me, and I don't talk like that. At least I don't think so. I mean, I really don't know what kind of accent that I have, really. Some people say that I should open my eyes more. You know, that's the classic. That's some old school shit. Some people say that I should eat some dogs, or maybe I do eat dogs. And I'll be perfectly honest, I have eaten boiled dog once, and it was because my mom was having some, and she went to the bathroom, and you know, I was like 9 or 10, and I was just curious, like, I just needed to know why people ate dogs in Korea, and I just, like, took a spoonful of that shit, I put it in my mouth, I swallowed it, and really, it kind of tastes like shit. It tastes like nothing. It's just meat. There's nothing special about it. I'm not sure if it was even seasoned well, but whatever. I don't get it. And yes, I have eaten dogs before. Well, a part of a dog, not even a dog. So far though, there hasn't been any small dick jokes, which clearly shows that the people who are being edgy in my comment section are very classy. I get classy racist people here, so at least that's the case. But then there's the other kind of racist comments that are very clearly, genuinely racist, and they're like legitimately pissed off. And you know, I'm trying not to be racist myself, but usually their avatar, their profile pictures are pictures of white guys. I'm sorry if that's gonna offend anybody, but it's true. And I'm gonna quote one of them to you. Like, one of them said, "China has one of the worst class systems in the world. Oh, you're yellow, it's okay." So by the end, he just gave up on speaking English. And I'm not Chinese, which is true. Which is just, I don't get. And you know what's worse? That he wrote that comment under the Birth of a Nation review. And yes, I'm talking about the D.W. Griffith movie from 1915, I believe. So he's clearly a Griffith fan. He probably likes Intolerance and Broken Blossoms and all that. No, it's not Broken Blossoms. Is it Broken Blossoms? It's Broken Blossoms, that Jim Jarmusch movie. There's a movie that D.W. Griffith made that has blossoms in the title. I'm forgetting it. Maybe it is Broken Blossoms. I don't know. So, well, my point is that comment had nothing to do with the review, and there was another comment in the same review, in fact, that called me a zipper face, or I think he called somebody else a zipper face within the comment section, because there's this person who was like, "Hey, you're being racist," and I think he had a K-pop idol for his or her profile picture, and I guess the guy thought he was Asian, or he or she was Asian, and just called him or her a zipper face. And I did not know what zipper face meant, so I had to look it up. And by the time I learned what it meant, I was kind of past being offended. I was just amazed that there was another racist term for Asians. Like, yeah, I've heard of Ching Chongs and Japs and whatnot, but I've never heard of zipper face. And quite frankly, I wanted to know why we're called zipper faces. And even though I know it now, it still doesn't make any sense to me. Like, unless every single Asian in the world looks like the Japanese soldiers that you see in some of the really old and very politically incorrect Looney Tunes cartoons. Unless we all look like that term does not make any sense. But usually, those two kinds of comments have one common element. They're short. They get to the point, they say the racist bullshit, and they just walk away. They just come and go, and always too soon. Shout out to Blazing Saddles. Everybody should watch that movie. It is great. But sometimes, I get a personal message, and usually, personal messages are sent to my email. And they can be very long. And I want to talk about one that I got recently. And it's just way too funny to me personally. It's several paragraphs long. I'm not going to read the whole thing here. I'm basically going to tell you what it says. So basically, this guy that I don't know at all, this guy just decided to send me a message about how Asian men are losing in the interracial game, and that Asian women prefer white guys or black guys, or any guy who isn't Asian, and that Asian men have basically the least chances of being in a interracial relationship compared to people who aren't Asian, and that even if an Asian guy lives in a non-Asian country, he would come back to his home country to marry an Asian woman, because that's how much we suck at being in an interracial relationship. So, here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and, say all of this isn't true, because within the message he actually throws me some statistics, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to look up whether this is wrong or right, or whether his arguments are totally invalid and that his statistics are coming from invalid sources or whatever. I'm way too fucking busy to do all that. I'm not going to sit here right now and tell you that he's wrong. Maybe Asian men are. Maybe there is a less chance of Asian men being in an interracial relationship, whether that's important to any of us, really. Like, in my life, I've met only 5 interracial couples. I've met one interracial couple, which included the white woman and the black man. I met 2 interracial couples that consisted of a white woman and an Asian guy, and I met 2 interracial couples that consist of an Asian woman and a white guy. So, I don't know, like, I don't even have enough personal experience to really combat his arguments here. But the real question is, why would this guy send me this message at all? Like, even in, like, I don't talk about interracial relationships. I don't know this person. This guy's not subscribed to me. I think the only time that I ever talked about interracial relationships on my channel is right here, right now, and in my Big Sick review. That's it. I never talked about it. I don't even think I've talked about interracial relationships in the Birth of a Nation review. And it's not like I'm one of those interracial couple channels. I mean, you see plenty of those where the entire concept is the fact that, yes, they are of different races. How could that be? And, they do boring travel vlogs, and they bitch about their parents, and they do trendy vapid challenges, and they make list videos about how their cultures clash and all that bullshit. And, I don't do that, so I don't get why this guy sent me this message. I really don't. And maybe you have an answer, because all I can really see is, I think he sent this message simply based on the fact that, A, I'll understand what he's saying, because he's clearly, he's right, he wrote me in English, and B, I'm Asian, so that's like those two basic requirements for him to send me this. God, it's 6:40, I need to get back by 7. So, why did he send me this message? Well, we'll never know. We'll never know the real answer, which pains me. It's like the ending of Inception, or or what's like a really good ending of a movie or a book that we'll never know what really happened. I can't think of one right now. Maybe Fight Club. And basically every ending that's kind of open-ended. But we'll never know why this guy sent me this message. However, as a person who loves storytelling, and as a person who loves telling stories in general, I made some theories. I kind of made a character out of this guy in my head. So, first of all, obviously, this guy isn't Asian. This guy is not, and judging by his profile picture, I have no idea what race he is, and really that doesn't matter, unless he's actually Asian. And if this guy actually is Asian, this is a whole new level of self-hatred that I've never seen before. And I hope to God he's going to therapy. But if he's Asian, obviously. But if he's not Asian, whoever this is, maybe he's got some personal problems. Maybe he was totally cucked by an Asian dude. Maybe maybe every time he sees an Asian guy on the street or on the internet, he needs to just oppress the fucking urge to talk about how the Asian guy should be totally insecure about his race and how he'll totally fail in the interracial game. And obviously, if he actually tells that Asian person that, the guy would probably just look at him in a weird way and just slowly walk away as the guy rants about all these statistics showing that Asian dudes are total losers. And maybe whenever he goes on X videos or Pornhub, maybe he types in AMWF, in which I've actually learned what that actually meant like sometime last year. So for those who don't know what that means, AMWF means Asian male, white female, and it's usually, if you type it in a porn site, it would take your hand and slowly caress you into the videos of Asian male and white women just going at it. And maybe he types that shit on Pornhub in the next videos, and maybe he downvotes all of them, and maybe he writes a comment about how the Asian guy has a limp noodle, or a limp dick, or a limp biscuit, or what fucking ever. Maybe he's one of those guys, like, who works out and stays healthy and all that, but he's only trying to get laid. Maybe he overworks out, too. Maybe he had a major crush on this girl in high school. Let's call her Jenny for the moment, for no real reason. That's just the first thing that I came up with. And maybe she was the type of girl that was always in his head throughout his teenage years, and he just can't seem to forget about her every day. Throughout, he took the image of her to bed, to the bathroom, to any place that he went. Maybe even to this day, he can't forget this Jenny. And she totally fucking went with an Asian dude. Maybe all that happened, maybe not. But, whoever this is, whoever this guy is, or this... Man, it would be... Imagine if this person was a woman. That would change a lot of things. But for just this one moment, let's consider him as a guy. Or just as a person, really. Whoever this person is, I feel very sorry for him. And if he's watching, if he or she is watching, if it means anything to you, yes, I will suck your dick. I'll give you a hug. Let's fucking watch Die Hard together, or I don't know. We'll do something. We'll jam out to Led Zeppelin. We'll do something. The sucking dick part, I'll have to consider that. But yeah, I forgive you. You fucking racist piece of shit. So that's all. I'm not sure if that story is entertaining in any way, but it's true. And I hope nobody gets any racist messages that's sent to them ever, starting from here, which probably will still happen, though. And if you do want to leave your best racist jokes in the comment section, please do. I love them. I'll share my favorite one with you. This is a joke that somebody told me. So here's the thing. So Korea can be very xenophobic. So if you're even if you're a white person, if you come here, most people might be kind of intimidated by you, because Koreans, this is a stereotype that most people don't talk about. Koreans can be very perfectionistic. So they want to be able to communicate with you in a perfect way, but most Koreans don't speak English fluently, so they have a hard time. If you're a white person, they just instantly think that you speak English. So they have a hard time communicating with you, so they try to get away from you. They don't hate you. They're just very insecure about their linguistic skills. So in a way, Asian people are kind of intimidated and scared by white people, but that's okay. Because, Asian people are scared of white people are scared of black people are scared of dogs, and dogs are scared of Asian people. It's the It's the circle of life. That's a terrible fucking way of singing it. It's the circle of life, bitch. I need to go back and study my ass off for a future that I'm not sure if I'm even gonna have. Bye.